Hi, and welcome to the Distinguished Twins podcast. I'm Kane.
Professor Anderson here.
All right. And, man, I couldn't help but notice that, you tried to dress like me today.
I mean, what can I say, man? You're a nice looking man. I mean, I really like that jacket, though, man. Where'd you get it from?
Gosh, I honestly couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you either, man.
Yeah, you don't know where you got yours?
No, I don't know where I got this from, man. I know it's nice, and
Yeah.
I figured today would be a good day to wear something like this, and
Yeah.
lo and behold, you pop up with the same jacket on.
I mean, it's just amazing, how our minds work,
Yeah, I mean that's that synergy,
Yeah.
that twinergy. Right?
Twinergy.
Okay, yeah, twinergy.
Yeah, trademark that.
Yeah, I think it's already out there somewhere, so somebody already stole it from me, but but no,
It's really out there?
yeah, it's out there. It's out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought we were the only twins on the planet. This is crazy.
Yeah.
You telling me we're not special?
No, we're not special.
No, we're not exclusive because we're twins?
No, we're not exclusive because we're twins, bro.
Oh, wow.
I literally, last semester, I had 7 sets of twins in one class.
What?
Literally. I introduced, I come in like, well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Professor Anderson, education, boom, 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 and I'm a twin. I'm thinking I'm special. Then they were like, I'm a twin. Then I see,
Wow.
sets of twins. I'm like, what? Absolutely crazy, man. I thought that people should have written a story on that because to have that many twins
Yeah.
in one classroom, it was incredible. And including the professor, right?
Exactly. So you got 8.
Yeah, 8. You know what I mean? So it was definitely.
What are the chances?
What are the chances?
Yikes.
Right? I don't think that ever happened again.
Man, that's funny because I'm like, we're twins and, obviously people point that out.
Yes.
And obviously that's the name of our show, right?
Yes, sir.
But we do understand at this point that it doesn't make us exclusive or special.
At all.
And it brings me to this topic of with people these days, like a pet peeve, a quick pet peeve that I notice, something that really, really burns me up is like you see people on social media and they will literally think that it's a status symbol to have an iPhone over an Android.
Yeah.
Like, how do you literally think that you're better than somebody because of the phone that you have?
I mean, it's
like you're not exclusive.
You always have to remember how we're socialized.
Yes.
As a society, and we're an extremely materialistic society.
Yes.
Our culture is more of a neoliberal society that we have, where individualism is promoted and materialism is highly promoted.
Yeah.
And so, what you see is, these companies who have a lot of money, a lot of funding, and they're going to promote this product as if it's so exclusive and rare, although we know it's extremely pervasive, right, throughout society. But again, when you create that competition, that's what you're going to have. So I just think that, some people feel good about it, right? But at the same time, of course, we know a cell phone is a cell phone. A cell phone is a cell phone. So,
Yes.
So I understand exactly what you're saying, though, man. It is quite interesting,
Yeah. So, but like, another one. Someone will make fun of someone because of the way that they like to eat their steak.
Yeah.
It's like, you eat, I eat. Like,
right?
How do you think you're better because you like your steak this way and I'll eat my steak this way?
Well, and that's ethnocentrism, right?
What is ethnocentrism?
Ethnocentrism is basically where, you believe that your group is superior to the next group. And you believe that the way that your group does it is the right way. It's the absolute truth.
Okay.
So you see a lot of ethnocentrism, whether it's based on age, right? Well, you'll have a lot of the elderly individuals in our country say, well, when we were younger, we didn't do that. All you do is sit up on cell phones and you don't work really hard or whatever. In our day, we did it like this, ethnocentrism, right? Yes. You see it a lot with race in this country.
Yeah.
A lot with race in this country.
Yes.
You even see it amongst the battle of the sexes, right?
Yes. Yes.
You know, to where, you know, men will say, well, you know, we're not as emotional as women when actually men are
Very emotional.
very
Especially
emotional.
that ego.
Especially that ego. I
Man,
mean, I
fragile.
think that's why this world is in shambles, you know,
Yes.
because of that male ego.
Yes.
Being extremely emotional. But yeah, ethnocentrism, you know, to go back to that pet peeve of you feel like you're better than somebody because of the way that you prefer your steak.
Exactly.
Whether it's, you know, medium rare or something like that. I mean,
done.
you know, just recently, you know, was at Benihana's, you know, with my family, and, you know, you sit there, and even the chef,
Yeah.
you know, the chef is like,
Ah.
you know, well, you know, and it was Charles. Charles was there,
Yeah.
and he's, no, I need it well done. I need it well done.
Yeah.
And then the chef is like, why? Oh man, I can't even make it for you. Of course, he's joking with him.
Of course. Yes.
But of course, he's like, who eats a steak?
Yes.
You know, well done. You know, but you know, he's kind of giving him a hard time, and I thought it was kind of excessive after a certain point. Like,
Yeah,
just let
like,
it go.
come
Like,
on, man.
That's how he wants his steak.
Exactly.
He doesn't like to see any of that pink red meat in there, so which I can understand. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I can understand. I'm not saying that I like my steak one way or the other way, but
Right.
that just bothers me when I see that. Like, because people think that the most trivial things make them exclusive.
Truthfully, I give you that.
Remember, there was a time when you couldn't catch me without the top designer fashions from head to toe.
At all.
At all, right?
I mean, you name them.
Because I thought I was exclusive. I thought it made me exclusive, right?
Right.
And so after a while, you know, I started to realize a lot of people have these things. I'm not exclusive.
Oh yeah.
And so my mindset was, how can I separate myself? How can I distinguish myself from the rest?
There you go.
So we started to invest internally
There we go.
because nobody on this earth is you,
Bottom line.
right? We're twins.
Yes, sir.
But you're you, I am me.
Period.
You're exclusive
Yes.
because you are you. I'm exclusive because I'm me.
Bottom line.
And people put so much value on the material things to think that they're exclusive. And that's why I think a lot of people end up, you know, unhappy because you continue to buy these material things, but you never worked on the internal, the investment, right?
Yeah.
On those assets, because the majority of what you're buying, they're liabilities,
Oh, bottom line.
right? Even when you look at Nip, look at his poster.
Right.
He got all these chains on.
Yeah.
It's gold.
Yeah, man.
He was smart about it.
Yeah.
That's not a liability.
No.
It's gold is an asset,
Yes, it is.
right? So
It almost holds the same value in almost every country.
thank you, exactly.
Exactly.
It has a global, value, right?
Yes, sir.
But it's like, if you want to be exclusive, then you're gonna have to do something different.
You have to.
You are different already.
Yes, sir.
So you going and buying this and buying that, that's not making you exclusive.
No, it's not.
And once I realized that, it gave me a different level of, people say self-love,
Yes,
whatever.
sir. Yeah.
And I started to realize like the true value of me.
Yeah, man.
Rather than always trying to put this on and put that on, whatever. Like Nip say, it ain't on you, it's in you,
Bottom line.
right? Like that it factor.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think that it goes to self-worth, like you just
Yes,
stated.
yes.
Especially, I think you'll see, a lot of that materialism
Yes,
promoted in a lot of impoverished cultures.
yes.
I remember one of my students when I was teaching a section on culture, and I remember one of my students who was talking about how she traveled to, I believe it was Jamaica, and there was a cab driver who, it was pretty much a beat up cab, right? But cab driver working hard, whatever. But the cab driver made sure to make it a point that when he saw another cab driver and he was talking to him, he's like, "Look, I got on these Jordans."
Ah.
He's like, "Man, I got on these Jordans, whatever." And
Yeah.
they're pretty much, they don't really have much money, but he's like, "I got these Jordans on."
Yeah.
So he felt it made him feel better about himself.
Yeah.
And maybe he felt like it made him exclusive
There
and
you
so on
go.
and so forth. And so, I think that, as a society, I think that you make a great point that, we focus too much on materialism, and I
Yes.
think that has been one of the downfalls of our society. But consumerism, and it's called conspicuous consumption,
Okay.
right? And so
break that down, please.
Conspicuous consumption is basically, as Americans, and this has been America for a long time. You can see writings about it in the early 1900s, right?
Yes.
But how Americans, we want the big house on the block.
Yes.
We want the Bentley.
Yes.
We want those type of things. We want the diamonds and the name brand fashion and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Because that's who we are.
Exactly.
We want that to try to stand out.
Yes.
Right? We want to be conspicuous.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we want to be noticed. So when you look at American culture, that's really who we are. And for me, which is a common term thrown around, I think overly used these days, but I think it's a toxic culture.
Yes.
Because again, as individuals, it's a shift and it's a carryover all the way over to what we see in our political spectrum today, right?
Yes.
What we see on both ends, and that individualism is high.
Yeah, it is.
And I think that, of course, the old saying goes, divide and conquer. When you live in such an individualized culture, it's going to be easy to manipulate and control the population.
Yes.
Because there isn't much unity in the way that we think and so on and so forth. Now, we're not saying don't be your own person.
Yes.
But at the same time, we're in competition with each other every day over the most minuscule things, right?
Wow.
Most trivial things that really hold no value. So, as you stated, it's the external, things that people acquire that they feel like, man, I'm somebody.
Yeah.
When really it's not worth much.
It's not.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like you say, like what we value as a society. I remember when I was watching a video of him talking about, he's from Africa.
Yeah.
It was people from Africa, from Eritrea.
Yes.
And he said he visited, the country, and when he was there, he saw and he loved. He said it was like night and day. The way we value money and materialism, that's how they value family over there. And when he said that, I almost was jealous a little bit because, I was caught up in this, man, let me buy this, let me buy that. I spent thousands of dollars, right, on meaningless, material things that, it's okay to like nice things. There's nothing wrong with that, but I was so consumed by it. Like, I have to have this. Just like,
it's an addiction.
It's an addiction. There we go.
Right?
Everybody run out and, I got the new J's on. You're not exclusive.
Yeah, everybody got them on.
Everybody. And to be honest, kids 20 years ago got the same Jordans that you have on your feet today that they just released.
It's interesting as you talk about that family aspect, because if you look even in American culture, the influx of Latin or Mexican population has honestly, I've seen write-ups to where it's helping Americans to get back to a more familial tradition, right?
Yes.
And so, because if you look at the Mexican or the Hispanic population, or Latin population, however you want to draw it up in this country, because you can't forsake or neglect the intersectionality between them all, because a lot of people try to group them together when you can't do that.
Exactly.
But what you see is that family structure, which is why you see an advancement within their community. You see advancement, and it's kind of rapid, especially when you compare it to the progress of the African American population in this country. And one of the things that I always tell my students, and especially my Mexican students, is don't ever lose that family tradition.
Yeah.
Once you do, you're going to fall under the auspice and the control and manipulation of this country.
Yes.
And so that is one of the issues.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a thorn in the side of this country.
Yes.
Of those who don't want to see this Mexican population grow, this Latin population grow.
Exactly.
Because you can't control these people like you've been able to do African Americans.
Exactly.
Because we had everything stripped from us.
Exactly.
And so now we've been told who we are, and we are truly under the control of this. Really, ultimately, it's a white supremacist culture.
Yes.
And so when you look at the Mexican population or the Latin culture, that family structure is the core of what keeps them together, keeps their population thriving, keeps, you see so many ascending so quickly because that structure is there. And even look at, again, the population number is growing. That's not just from immigration. That's not just what it's from.
Exactly.
But it's just, believing in family.
And they're, the elders understand sacrifice.
Bottom line.
They're willing to sacrifice for these
Or
you know,
family.
yeah, for their family, for the younger generations, because they understand that, you know, you essentially you had your turn.
Yes, you
right?
did. Yes.
So you have to, you know, put the focus on these younger generations to make sure that they don't lose their way.
Bottom line.
Right? And hold true to those core principles and those values that you have in your culture.
Yes, sir.
And you do make a good point, because that's one of their advantages. They have their culture. They came with their culture.
Bottom line, their culture.
Exactly. It was never taken from them. So,
Yeah.
and like you say, the African American culture, there's not much of a culture.
No.
Right?
It's kind of been handed to us.
Yeah, it's been
Although
handed.
innately, we can point out the music.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great part of who we are.
Yes.
But like you said, other than
And that's
that,
been manipulated as well.
oh, absolutely.
Exactly. So,
Hands down. So again, like, we are truly a product of this American system.
exactly.
Bottom line,
Yeah.
you know, we're a product of this system. We've kind of been told who we are, as opposed to remembering those customs and traditions and culture that we once had prior to being enslaved, and so on and so forth. So
Yes.
I know it goes very deep. That rabbit hole goes extremely deep. But again, when you think about it, the family tradition of this, the Mexican culture, or just even the Latin culture, family is heavy.
Yeah.
It's extremely important.
Yeah.
And if we could get back to that as a country as a whole,
Yes.
you know, then I think that we could do much better
Yes.
than what we do today, because it's nothing to walk past people who are suffering. It's
Yes.
nothing to
Exactly.
see these countries being bombed for no reason, innocent people dying for no reason, to see poverty all around the world.
We just changed the channel.
That's it, because we're like, hey, as long as I'm good,
Exactly.
that's it.
Like,
Then,
we
you know,
literally have no emotional attachment to humans. Right?
period.
Yeah, like you said, the individualism, you know.
I mean, and that goes along with dehumanization of people as well.
Absolutely.
Right, and we've seen that done over and over again through
Gosh.
tons of propaganda, through our media sources, and so on and so forth. So,
You see the double standards.
oh, you see it,
Triple.
the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely sickening.
Yeah, it is.
It is. So, but again,
Well, I'll ask,
yes, sir.
how do we find the solution to, as a country, start to, what do you think is the biggest thing to start to value one another? Like, how do we get to that point where we can look at someone of a different race or sex or, you know, sexual preference? How do we get to that point? Religion?
I think the way that we get there is by acknowledging truth.
Okay.
We have to be able to teach our children the truth. If we look at our society, the most advantaged population of people in this country are white, male, Christian,
Hetero?
hetero.
Yes.
Right? These are the most advantaged
Yes.
group of people in our country.
Yes.
And if you really look at a lot of the narratives which are purported by our media sources or whatnot, they are controlled by these same individuals
Yes.
in many instances.
Yes.
And so I think we have to acknowledge the truth.
Yes.
And which leads me to a point of, what is it? We're a few days away from Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Right? And I think that as a country, we're such a, I feel like we're so weak as a population.
Yes.
Because again, we're divided. We're so fragmented.
Yes.
And so I think that we are, because, you know, there are so many different perspectives, which is okay, but are we operating in opinion,
Yes.
emotionality, or are we operating in facts and truth?
Yes.
Right? And so I think that when we look at our population, if we want to truly progress and move forward and heal our country, we have to be willing to speak truths. And I think it starts historically. We have to be able to acknowledge and give people their credit. You know, when you look at a lot of the advancements that we have in the sciences and the social sciences, you know, a lot of that was done by women.
Yes.
You know, but we're in a male-dominated society. Patriarchy
Yes.
rules, right? And so women are devalued over and over again in our society. A lot of that does come from religion. Absolutely it does. You know, to say that that's not true, you're being highly disingenuous.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
And so when you look at that, to acknowledge with women, their contributions to our society, when you look at the contributions by African Americans, extremely substantial to this country.
Yes.
There is no America without the free labor
Exactly.
of enslaved Africans, right?
Yes.
And then when you look at a lot of the inventions, a lot of the advancements and so on and so forth, done by African Americans, overlooked, suppressed,
Yes.
written out of the history books.
Yes.
Right? Again, we go back to Lewis Latimer.
Man.
You know, Lewis Latimer, when we look at all the lights around us, right, the light bulbs and, you know, the artificial lighting sources, and we look at it and we realize that, okay, with these light bulbs, Thomas Edison is credited
Yes.
with this, right?
With the entire light bulb.
With the entire light bulb.
Yeah.
And so, and I wish I had the book with me, but
Yes.
I had
Yeah.
each semester I do, with my kids, I either do a food drive
Yes.
or a book drive. And so I take the food and I donate it to, you know, local shelters, take the books and donate them to more disadvantaged schools in the Phoenix area.
Yes.
But, you know, I collect all the books and I just happened to come across this Thomas Edison book, which was donated,
Yes.
which I'm appreciative of. My students always show up and show out.
Yes.
But, you know, it's incentivized. But, you know,
Yeah.
always, you know, I'd rather see it coming from the heart, right?
Exactly.
But I see this Thomas Edison book, and then this Thomas Edison book is probably roughly about 20 pages.
Yes.
So this automatically tells me this is probably for maybe first grade and below,
Yes.
right? And so I'm looking through this book, and you see Thomas Edison, says Thomas Edison and a light bulb. And in this book, you see Thomas Edison, and it's all white men
Yes.
with Thomas Edison.
Yes.
And so there are no women.
Okay.
There are no African Americans, no Asians Americans, no, you know, Latino Americans, what have you.
Yes.
But all you see is just white men. And they're all around him as he's tinkering away,
Yes.
you know, trying to develop this light bulb. And the part that really just floored me was I go to a page and it's Thomas Edison, it says the carbon filament to the
Yeah.
light bulb.
Yes.
Nowhere does it mention Lewis Latimer.
Wow.
But if you do your research, you'll see that Lewis Latimer is credited with the carbon filament to the light bulb.
Yes.
He was also credited with inventing the first diagrams to the first telephone for Alexander Graham Bell. But when you think about the telephone, you hear about Alexander Graham Bell.
Yes.
Nonetheless, if you look historically, Thomas Edison was a well-known thief.
Yes.
If he could not steal someone's invention, what he would do is try to hire you to work for his company. Once you were hired to work for his company would then own the patent to your invention.
Yeah.
So now it's his invention still. So we have to be willing to do the research though.
Yes.
There are some people who will hear that and struggle with believing it, which is cognitive dissonance.
Yes.
Right? So some people hear that information and say, no, that's not true, so on and so forth, because you have some people who believe in white supremacy
Yes.
and white superiority and say, no, only you know, white men are the
They're
smartest
like, he
people.
dressed nice. He was
Right?
educated. There's no way he would do that.
There's no way he would do that.
Yes.
And we don't realize that there are so many people in this country who have contributed to the greatness of this country.
Yes.
Who are highly discredited.
Yep.
You know, suppressed, you know, erased and deleted. Overlooked, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think that if we want to progress forward in our country, we have to be willing to acknowledge the traumatic and horrid past of our country.
Yes.
You know, we try to overlook Thanksgiving and we try to present it as this false, you know, fairy tale that, you know, the Pilgrims and the Native Americans came together and they had a meal and it was just peace and harmony.
Festival.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was a festival, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, we don't teach the fact that it was truly a massacre that was committed. Genocide, right?
Yes.
Of the Native Americans on that day. And so when you really think about it, how are we helping our children by perpetuating these lies? Do we want to just tell our children, you know what, the way that you get by in life is just lie about things?
Exactly, because I don't think any parent tells their child, yes, go and lie.
No.
But you can't be selective with the truth.
You can't.
Because
the truth is the truth.
I understand it might hurt your feelings.
Yes.
But at the same time, oh, it's Thanksgiving, whatever. Oh, it was such a great day. How do natives feel about this day?
Exactly.
You know, have you ever spoken with them?
Yes.
To see how they feel about this? The fact that you celebrate and say that, you know, it was this day of, you know, festivities and, you know, everybody was getting along when it was really genocide. Like,
yes.
Like I said, it's hard to face the truth, you know, but.
I mean, I think it's the truth is difficult, right?
Yes.
And they say the truth hurts, and it really does.
Yes.
You know, and I think that, you know, a lot, and here's the part that just wears on me.
Yeah.
You'll have some people who will maybe even look at this conversation.
Yes.
And they'll consider someone to be non-patriotic.
Yeah.
And they would consider someone to hate America.
Yeah.
And if you use the term white supremacy, oh, you hate white, really just, and to be candid, ignorant individuals.
Yes.
Who lack knowledge, right?
Yes.
And so really think about this, because you'll have people who say, oh, well, you hate America.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about the ugly truths of America.
Yes.
You hate America.
Yes.
And it's like, well, get out of here.
Yeah.
We'll get out of this country. And it's like, So if you see something that needs correction,
Yes.
you tell them to get out. Okay, so your kids,
Yes.
you say either you do it,
Yes.
right? Or you get out.
Yes.
Right? How does that work?
Yeah,
You love your children.
Exactly.
If you love your children, you don't say that.
You're going to correct them.
You're going to correct them.
Because that's how you show love.
That's how you show love, right?
Exactly.
By correction, right?
Yeah.
And so with our country, to say that the people who want to acknowledge the wrongs
Yes.
of this country and fix the wrongs of this country hate this country, it's intellectually mendacious.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
It's nothing but a response rooted in emotionality.
Yes.
Period. You cannot substantiate that.
No.
Because
Because it just hurts people's feelings.
oh my
the
God,
truth hurts.
It does.
That's just not a notion.
right.
It really hurts.
But if you think about this country, I remember having a conversation with this woman. She was half African American, half German.
Yes.
She spent the greater portion of her childhood growing up in Germany.
Okay.
And I remember having that conversation, and I said, wow, man, I can imagine what that must have been like for you to grow up in Germany. Because you hear about the history of Germany, a lot of hatred, right? Mm-hmm. And she says, no, actually, it wasn't even bad. She said, I really didn't experience much racism. I've experienced much more racism being in America.
Yes.
And I said, really? Mm-hmm. So I said, tell me about that. I said, because, really, Germany, Hitler, they're the villains of the world,
Yes.
historically, right?
Exactly, yep.
And by the way, if you don't know your history, Hitler was inspired by the racism and the hatred
In America.
and the disparaging treatment which was done by European Americans to Native Americans. Look it up. So this motivated Hitler to do this Holocaust to the Jewish people.
Yes.
Look it up. But anyway, but she said that, and I said, tell me a little bit more. I said, because I'm confused. Because again, if you think about it, Germany is consistently dragged, right? And she says, well, we know our history as Germans.
Yes.
The world will not let Germany forget about their history.
No, they will not.
The world will not let Germany forget about the Holocaust.
Yes.
Because this is the plain example of mistreating people.
Yes.
But in America, we'll overlook the enslavement of African Americans for hundreds of years,
Yes.
right? And then now we're on to mass incarceration and Jim Crow, all that had come about, whatever.
Yes.
But it brought me to a point that whenever Colin Kaepernick began to kneel about police brutality and social injustice in this country,
Yes.
what you saw, and I don't think many people paid much attention to it, but you saw the German soccer team,
Yes.
they kneeled
Yes, they did.
in solidarity
Yes.
with African Americans. And I thought that was so huge.
Yes.
Because here you're talking about a people
Yes.
who have been shamed, who are still shamed to this day
Yes.
for what was done to the Jewish people
Yes.
by the German population, by, some of the Germans. Let's not generalize, right? And so you'll have that, but because they have been able to face their history, they can now understand what it feels like for people to be persecuted and so on and so forth and oppressed. And so then you have the German soccer team kneeling with
Yes.
African-American athletes in solidarity, and I thought that was so huge.
Huge.
Huge. And so I think as a country, until we can face these truths,
Yes.
we'll continue to have this division.
Yep.
We'll continue to have people, oh, no, oh, you just hate America, get out. That's the only way that you address it.
Yeah, because you don't have any facts to refute that,
You don't.
right? Because it's the truth.
Your reply is
It's
so
emotional.
weak. Yes.
Yes.
It's extremely emotional.
Yes.
And it's not one that'll ever be substantive.
No.
That can help us advance the conversation.
Exactly.
Because you just cut it off right there and you're like, that's it.
Yeah.
And so I do believe that, we can heal as a country, undoubtedly.
Yes.
You know, I'm huge into Marvel. You know, I love
I know
Marvel.
that, yes.
You know, if you take a look,
Check it out.
you know, if you take a look, you see
Thor, the Avengers.
Thor, and Thor. I love, Black Panther, but Thor, that's my dude.
Yeah.
But anyway, Captain America.
Yeah.
If you look at Captain America and you look at, who these Avengers were traditionally and initially created for, the children.
Yes.
But if you look at Captain America, he's such a good guy. Mm-hmm. Everything that he embodies as being a righteous guy and
just wholesome.
Doing wholesome, right?
Yes.
Always wants to do the right thing and so on and so forth. And it's such a fallacy of that's not who America is.
No.
But it's who America can become.
Yes. Yes.
If America wants to acknowledge its ugly past.
Exactly.
Right? Ugly past, and to acknowledge the truth of, who America truly is as a country.
Yes.
And that's the only way that we can move forward.
Yeah, because it's just like when you deal with an addict, their first step is admitting that they have a problem.
Hello.
Because this country has an addiction to oppressing, to, killing, to dehumanizing. The facts are there.
The facts are there.
The facts are there. And if you can't take that first step and say, you know what, we do have a problem.
Yes.
We have a problem.
We.
And, if you don't want to put in the effort to correct it, then, time will, it'll fix everything.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate part. That's
Exactly.
the unfortunate truth is, balance always restores to the earth, right?
There you go.
And I think that, as a country, we have to wake up. Mm-hmm. And I think that we're in a rough time to where we see a lot of people living in fear.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of people wanting to not relinquish what once was.
Yes.
And which was a country which was rooted, which was ruled in absolute power by the European American population. Mm-hmm. Now we're trying to have more of a melting pot, more of a diverse mixture of a population.
Well, it's kind of inevitable at this point.
Yeah, it's inevitable. But when you look at the people in power, you don't see a reflection of who we are as a society.
Exactly.
You don't see 17% of the people in power being Mexican American or Latin American.
Yes.
You don't see 13 or 12% of people in power being African American. Mm-hmm. And so if we can bring a balance, I think that we'll start to see, those things. Of course, we're talking about qualified people.
Yeah.
Bottom line, you have to be qualified, of course. Mm-hmm. But, if you look at the current administration, which we really don't like to talk politics because it really is a big circus. That's how we feel about it.
Yes.
Even though we do believe that there is some power and some significance to voting, absolutely.
Yes.
But if you look at the current administration, I think that a lot of what we try to teach our children about hard work paying off and doing the right things and telling the truth and so on and so forth, I think that all of that has been overlooked and extremely devalued by this current administration, when people who have no prior experience being appointed to positions that they have no reason, no business being in these positions, and they have no prior experience, such as Betsy DeVos over the Department of Education. It's a slap in the face.
It is,
and it continues to promote what the brass in this country want, and that's just a stay in power of the European American population.
Yes.
That's just a flat out truth, and that's always been rooted in the policies of this country, and so on and so forth. And again, if you look at even mass incarceration policies, that you'll see it right then and there. You know what I mean? And so,
clear as day.
The one thing, and you have a population of people who have been stripped of everything.
Yes.
And a lot of people try to argue, but can't present the facts to say so. But you'll have that, and you'll have people saying, well, it's fair, it's balanced, and people are just committing these crimes and so on and so forth. But the great Malcolm X once said that the dominant society will gouge your eyes out and then condemn you for not being able to see.
Yes.
So
yes.
What you have is you'll go to Robert Merton who's a famous sociologist, and you have a structural strain theory, where you have people who have the want and the will to be successful,
Yes.
but they don't have the resources nor the opportunities.
Yeah.
And so when you look in this country, you can't say that everybody has an equal opportunity when you don't have equal opportunity in education.
Exactly.
The proverbial path in this country to success is through our education system.
Yes.
That's a flat out truth.
Yes.
If you have a degree, it typically is going to open more doors. If you look statistically, an individual with a college degree compared to an individual with a high school diploma, the individual with a college degree is projected to make roughly about $1 million more in their lifetime.
Yes.
So, which is why I can't understand why people always say you don't need education.
And they knock education. It's like, I have a question. Do you think in our society, more, let's say, an educated individual versus an uneducated individual, when it comes to decision making,
Yeah,
who do you think is going to make the better decision, more times than not?
exactly. Not saying every time.
Not every time.
But more times than not. Absolutely.
And I'm not saying, because you go to college, that
Yeah.
means you're educated.
No.
I mean, educate yourself. Even if
Exactly.
you're not going to get the formal education, you need to learn about yourself. History is huge.
Absolutely.
The systems around you, the people around you, understand the whys, right?
Yes.
You see the fruit, but you need to understand the root.
Bottom line.
How these things grew. Where do they come from?
Yeah.
What nurtures them to grow.
Yeah.
And when you look at these, communities, these populations, like say our, the African Americans, we have a lot of, pockets where it's a lot of poverty.
Yes,
and
absolutely. The most impoverished population in this country.
it's by design.
Absolutely.
It's simply,
And can show it.
yeah, factually.
Factually.
It's by design,
Yes.
But because I can't say that, because everybody say, man, if you just willing to work hard, you're gonna be successful. It's like that's part of it.
That's part
no
of it.
doubt.
Yes.
But we come from it.
Oh yeah. Bottom line, and what people again they tend to overlook as well is when do we actually talk about mental health? Our veterans aren't the only people who struggle with mental health issues
And PTSD.
and PTSD and depression.
Yes.
Which is highly elevated in African American communities.
Yes.
There are no job opportunities. Education systems are run down and desolate.
And we experienced it.
Right. Okay. And so, what do you expect? No jobs.
Yeah.
Poor education opportunities. What do you expect to happen?
Yes.
Where do you expect the hope to come from?
Exactly.
And so, but you do have, the outliers, right? The people who do make it out.
The talented 10th.
The talented 10th, right? And then now you're going to have an entire population of people that says, well, so-and-so made it out.
So-and-so made it. Why can't
Why
you do
can't
it?
you? And pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And just like, the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, it's tough to tell a man to do that when he doesn't have any boots.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
How do you pull yourself up by your bootstraps when you haven't given him any boots?
I strip you of everything.
I strip you of
And
everything.
I tell you to make it happen.
Yeah, and you have those roses that grow from the concrete.
Absolutely. That's what I
Undoubtedly.
continue to be amazed by.
Absolutely.
Is the ones who do, we talk about this talented 10th or whatever. It's like,
You know what I was thinking about the other day? Because this is a great conversation.
Yes.
I mean, I love it. So
it's
yeah.
rich, yes.
You see so many, and the craziest thing is this. Before I go into it, you have college football. I love college football.
Yes.
Right. I looked up Jalen Hurts. Right, because Jalen Hurts he's a young guy, just an outstanding young man.
He's just a model.
Isn't he?
He's model young man.
Yeah, he is.
Period.
Right.
Through and through.
So he's
From what we can see.
Right. He's a college quarterback at Oklahoma University.
Was at Alabama.
Was at Alabama. And then I looked up Joe Burrow, the quarterback from LSU.
Yes.
Both of them, I love them.
Yes.
Was two of my favorite quarterbacks in the country. Joe Burrow is a European American white guy.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is an African American black guy. Both of them raised with their parents, both of their parents. But I Googled Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
And if you Google Jalen Hurts, you'll see it.
Yes.
If you Google him, there's like a brief section. I don't know who writes these sections up, but they're very factual, very informative. But it's a brief section just on the front Google page.
Yeah.
It talks about Jalen Hurts, his height, his weight, his school, his parents.
Yes.
When they say his parents, his mother is listed first, his father second.
Yes.
Google Joe Burrow.
Yes.
His father is listed first,
His mother second.
mother second.
Yes.
when you look at Jalen Hurts, I watched him at Alabama, and when they would put the camera
Yep.
on in the stands,
Yeah.
it was always on his mother.
Yep.
His father was his high school football coach.
That's his biggest mentor.
So now we're getting into stereotypes.
Yes. Exactly.
So now we're getting into stereotypes, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Like every black athlete is not raised by their mother.
exactly, and not raised in a single parent household.
Exactly. It's not a broken home. It's
Right.
a newsflash. Like,
Bottom line, right? And I thought that was just, it was amazing.
like you saw it, but you weren't surprised.
I wasn't
Because
surprised.
you've seen it repetitively. Just look at movies.
Yes, it's very insidious,
Oh, yeah, exactly.
extremely insidious,
Yes.
and so, you know, very subtle, but so damaging and impactful to the perspective of much of the population who don't have regular interactions with African Americans.
Exactly.
And so these are the only things that you can go by, right?
Yes.
And so I was looking at that and I was like,
Yeah.
here we go, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, and I of course, which I always do, I always deviate.
No, I mean, it's good though because it's still truth.
Yeah, it is.
Right. This
It's
is
true.
what we're speaking about is
Yeah.
how do we get back to the truth?
Yes.
So these are some truths.
Yes, and you have to be able to acknowledge these things, and you have
Yes.
to understand that the way that we're socialized as a society is not by mistake.
No.
You know, this is extremely scripted and structured,
Very clever.
very clever.
Very clever.
I mean, and this is what much of my dissertation research is focused on.
yes.
Is not only in the American media, but also through the American education system,
Yes.
the curriculum. So this is how a lot of these stereotypes are given life. You know,
Yes.
they're given birth. So, you know, and if we look at it again, how do we get back to the truth?
Yeah.
How do we get back to the
It
truth?
starts with the education system.
I truly believe it because if you look at, I forget the statistic of the amount of hours that the average American child spends in the American education system, K through 12, it's extremely substantial.
Yes.
So if we look at the American education system and we look at the American media, so we're talking about music, you know,
Just TV
TV
shows,
shows,
movies.
news sources, whatever it may
Yeah.
be. These are two of the greatest ages of socialization of our children.
Yeah.
And so how do we control the narrative of what our children are learning? Because we still see children perpetuating hate. I saw a video on social media and it was just gut-wrenching. You saw a little girl and she has, you know, just chocolate on her face. And I believe she's somewhere over in Europe. But she's speaking with a European accent. And so she's like, her mother's like, you ate all the cookies.
Yeah.
You know, you were the one in the cookie jar. And she's sitting there and she's just mortified. She's like, no. She's like, I didn't do it. And then she said, a black person did it.
Yep. Yeah.
And her mom laughed,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not understanding how dangerous,
Man, come on.
right? You know, and we see it these days. You know, the police officer who
Yep.
accidentally, is somewhere on the East Coast, who accidentally shot herself.
Shot herself and said that a black man, you know,
Yeah.
did this and
And next thing you know, it's a manhunt.
yeah,
You know, so, but again, it's not hard for society to believe it
exactly.
because we're socialized to believe that African Americans are extremely violent and so on and so forth. Criminals, right? And inherently violent, right?
Yes.
And which is where you have the study of this violent gene. Where is it? You know, which occurred in the 80s.
How about this? You know, I remember when I got my first Beamer. I'm at the, and this was before I started to educate myself because I would have handled this differently.
Okay.
You know, had I known, I
Right.
might have put hands on this person.
Let's-
Just to be honest. So
okay.
I'm at the car wash, and you know it's a $100,000 car,
Yeah.
and so the car getting washed, and you know I had custom wheels on it, and this white guy came up. He was about my age, and he was like, he said, "Man, is that your car?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, how'd you get that?" I said,
I bought it.
"I bought it." I said, "I worked for it and I bought it." And he said, "Come on, man, like how'd you get that?"
No way you earned it.
He's no way you earned it legally.
Legally.
That's what he's thinking.
There you go.
And you know, as I sit there, I'm like, I'm kind of flattered. I'm like, it is a dope car, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, look at it, you know,
Yeah.
take a gander. So yeah, I'm like, oh no, I'm like, no, you know. And then I actually went into explaining what I actually do
Yes.
for a living, when I shouldn't have to do that.
Oh,
Because
not
you
at all.
would not walk up
No.
to, say, a middle-aged white male and say, man, how'd you get that car?
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
No.
Because in your mind, they're going to think, he earned that.
Yes.
You know, that's expected of him.
Yes.
You know, and I, you know, thinking back to just situations like that, that's where you start to understand the mindset of white supremacy.
Yes.
Because this guy probably, I don't know, I don't even think he meant any harm.
Right.
But that's how ignorant he was.
Yes.
Because he doesn't know the truth.
Bottom line.
You know, when you don't know the truth, you're a fool. And you
Yes.
literally are ignorant because you are lacking of knowledge.
Yes, you are.
Right? And
Yes.
that experience, you know, I would much rather know the truth and have to deal with it and get over it
Yeah.
rather than think I know the truth and look like a fool
Bottom line.
and think that I'm smarter than you or think that I'm superior to you.
Yes.
You look like a fool.
Yes, you do.
You know, I look back and I'm thinking, I'm glad I understand now that that was an insult,
Yeah.
but I wonder if he knows that it's an insult.
Exactly. And
Because-
I don't think he does.
Exactly, because if you said it, you know, to someone who actually was educated on,
Yeah.
you know, white supremacy at the time, and
Yeah.
they might have done something to you.
Possible.
Because that's an insult,
Yeah, it is.
right? You know,
It's highly disrespectful.
highly disrespectful. So,
Yes.
but yeah, that's,
I mean,
go ahead.
and I think that, I mean, and again, I think the point of what we're saying is
Yes.
that stereotypes are dangerous.
Yes, there you go.
And stereotypes didn't just start. They've been perpetuated historically. When you speak of the alleged intellectual inferiority of African Americans or black people in general, black and brown people in general, this started long ago, and it's been kept up to justify the oppression, the enslavement, the disenfranchisement of black and brown people globally.
Yes.
And so when we can get back to the truth, only then, and we see the humanity in one another, only then can we start to value one another. And we realize that we're much more alike than we are different. And that's just a fact of the matter.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and so when we can get back to teaching our children about other cultures, and it's just like in this country, just like I would tell my students, I can have a much more intelligent conversation with you about white culture than you can ever have about black culture.
Yes.
Because we're force-fed white culture in this country. We are. It's in our education system, it's in our media systems and what have you.
Entertainment.
Right, entertainment and what have you, to where we know much more.
Yes.
Right? We know the presidents and Lincoln
Exactly.
and Washington.
The inventors.
And right.
Yeah.
We know these people, but you can't have that a much of an intelligent conversation with individuals who haven't studied this culture.
Exactly.
But you'll get the proverbial characters on Black History Month, right?
Yeah.
You know, which people, there's not much emphasis put into it for a student
A
to actually
report.
dig, right?
Exactly.
And find the characters who aren't mentioned all the
Exactly.
time, right?
Yes.
And again, so
James Baldwin.
James Baldwin, I
Yes.
mean, absolutely remarkable, but
Yes.
even his voice was suppressed.
Yes.
His voice was suppressed by the African American population, because he was a homosexual. Mm-hmm. You know, so we don't want to hear of this great activist, this intelligent,
Brilliant.
just luminous
Yes.
individual because of who he chose to love.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
Is that insane?
It's ridiculous.
You know, because that goes along the lines of truths.
Yes,
right?
it does.
That's
Absolutely.
the truth. We
Yes.
need to understand, because even in our communities, we don't know who James Baldwin is.
We don't know.
And like you said, because of, you know, his sexuality.
Yes.
But it's like, when you look at people and you say, you're going to hell,
Ugh.
you're a bad person
Yes.
for who you love.
Who you love, who
You're
you
not
are.
doing anything wrong. You're loving.
Loving
this is
somebody.
for loving
Not for who
someone.
you hate.
Not for who you hate.
You're not gonna, because these same people will turn around and hate people.
Yes, and think that they're
They're
right.
the ones who are gonna inherit this kingdom, right?
Exactly.
Right?
Whatever your religious belief is.
Exactly.
But what is the alternative?
What's the alternative?
You want me to not accept this person
Yes.
who loves this other person? This is a human loving a human.
Period.
I don't care if you're male, female, whatever.
I couldn't care less.
You want me to hate this person?
You want me to hate this person?
You are out of your mind. You are out of your mind because I don't hate anyone.
I don't hate
It
anyone.
takes too much energy for me to hate somebody.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous. Like, I don't have time for that. It's not productive.
No.
It's not forward thinking. It's not progressive. Like,
No. We remain stagnant
yes.
and stifled in this country because we just accept what people tell us to do.
Exactly.
As
Like,
opposed to conducting our own research and being courageous enough to say, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with this person for who they love.
exactly.
I don't
Like,
have, because go ahead.
I bet there's a lot of things that a lot of us could share with people that might get a lot of people to not like us.
Come on now.
A lot of us.
Hello.
So I'm definitely not going to be the one to judge you
No.
because of what you've done or whatever. It's
I'm not
like,
going to judge you, period.
I'm not, exactly.
Bottom line, I'm just going to, I'm going to deal with you based off of what you tell me
Exactly.
and what you show me.
Exactly.
Period.
On an individual basis.
On an individual basis.
Exactly.
Like, I don't have that capacity. I don't have the concern.
No.
Or the to say, you know what, because of who you love or what you look like,
Yes.
I don't like you.
That's crazy.
It's incredible, and I think that the underlying basis of what we're saying in it all is just value humanity, right? Why is it such a problem to love somebody or to sit down and actually hear somebody out, right? And be careful again of these microaggressions, like we stated. Do then know,
He didn't know.
right? And so be careful of those microaggressions.
Yes.
And the only way that you can rid yourself of these biases, right? Cultural biases that we may have is to educate yourself, conduct your own independent research.
Yes.
If you see, somebody that you don't know much about, go read up on their culture,
Yes.
and learn about these people as opposed to just going off of what our media tells us. Because again, I mean, our media has been highly discredited. Don't get me wrong, you have some credible sources,
Yes.
but they're very far and few in between,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so I believe that it's only going to get better when we have the courage
Yes.
to not be an intellectual coward.
Yes.
And say, you know what, let me learn about,
And
these
challenge
people.
your beliefs.
Challenge your beliefs. That's
Challenge
what I
them.
always tell my students.
Yes.
Employ critical thinking.
Yes.
Challenge your beliefs.
Yes.
Challenge your epistemic values. How do you know what you know? Ask yourself that.
Or why do you do what you do?
Why do you do what you do?
Like, why do you celebrate these holidays?
Hello.
Is it
Hello.
because everyone else is doing it?
And you were told to?
And you were told to? Or do you actually believe in
Yes.
the story behind it? The whatever it is, like what value does it have to you? And with all that being said, the holidays are here.
Yes.
Please don't go broke trying to impress other people.
Oh my gosh.
If you have children, take care of your children.
Man.
However you take care of your children. Going out and getting them a gift is not going to change the situation you're in. If you don't have the money, save your money, continue to be smart with your money, increase your financial literacy.
Yeah.
Because that sacrifice that you make at this point, you take that knowledge and that sacrifice and you show your children the right way to do it.
Yeah.
So that maybe they'll manage money better in the future
Yes.
and they'll put themselves on the path to
Which
where.
is what happened for us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Exactly.
Both parents grew up in poverty.
And both of them.
Highly impoverished.
And they worked their butts off to, put us in a better situation. We were their why,
Yes.
and
Oh yeah, and I think that, to add to what you're saying,
yeah.
I think that, these holidays are coming up.
Yeah.
We're giving our kids gifts for whatever reason that you believe in. But I think that also try to incorporate a system of meritocracy
Yes.
with our kids to where, everything is merit-based. What you get, you earn.
There you go.
Because I think that that's how we rid our society of entitled children
There you go.
who then grow into entitled adults who think they should just have something because it's a certain day of the year.
Exactly.
Or they should just have something because of the way that they look
Yeah.
or what have you. Everything should be merit-based. If you earn it, you get it.
There you go.
It's a system that I've implemented. My wife and I, we implemented with our children.
And I'll be honest.
Uh-huh.
My brother had kids before me, and he had this mindset of you're going to earn it, and that's exactly how I feel, right?
Yes.
Because and I'll be honest, I won't celebrate Christmas. I won't. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, you guys get these gifts because of this day. Today, I'm sitting there this morning, me and Kane,
Uh-huh.
and the doorbell rings.
Okay.
you know, I know what it is.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's something he's been wanting.
Right?
So, you know, I open the door and then I'm like, you know, I open it and I just kind of throw it on the couch by him and
Uh-huh.
I'm like, hey man, check that and tell me what that is. And he was like, he was so excited, like,
Right.
because first of all, he didn't expect it,
Right?
right? And I said, you know why you got that? And he was like, no, sir. I said, it's because you do what you're told to do, right? You work hard.
Yes.
He's
He's such a good kid.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
right. He, you know, good behavior.
Yeah.
You know, you tell me the truth. Like he like, Daddy, you know, I say, hey man, what's up? You have a good day today? He like, yes, sir. He be like, Daddy, I got a 3 today instead of a 4. I'm like, why you get a 3 today? He like, I was too chatty today.
Okay.
And I say, thank you, man. That's all I want is the truth.
That's all I want is the truth.
And I say, just stop. Don't talk during class. All right?
That's it.
It's simple as that. He's a first grader, right? And I say he's pretty good with his work, so maybe he's starting to get a little bored.
Extremely good with his work.
Right.
Very
He's-
intelligent.
Right. And so, but it's like, thanks for telling me the truth because that's part of what I expect from you.
I mean, and if people understood the value of the truth,
That,
and don't get me wrong, I'm not infallible,
no,
Okay.
neither am I.
right? But what I've noticed, especially as each day passes as I get older, one of the worst things that you can do to anybody that you love
Yeah.
is lie to them.
Whew.
You're talking about destroying relationships. I mean,
And listen, if when you get to our age, everyone has experienced it.
everyone is
You know,
experiencing.
in one way or another, whether it's with family, significant others, friends. You understand the pain
Oh my
of
gosh.
being lied to.
It's excruciating.
It's excruciating, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it'll bring you to depths you never knew existed.
Oh, it hurts. And then to see what your lies do to people that you care about.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the most intense pains I've ever felt.
Yes.
To see people crushed
Yes.
by my mistruths.
Yes.
I think that it helped me for sure to
Absolutely.
just be an honest person. Regardless of however someone may feel by my truth,
Yes.
I have to tell the truth.
Yes.
You know, and again, which goes back to, if we were an honest nation,
Yes.
oh man, this would truly be a utopia.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, because we have, the best educations,
Right.
systems,
Uh-huh.
higher education.
Yes.
We have, good economies.
Yeah.
We have this democracy. I think we
There
have
you go.
we have a great,
Yeah.
starting point.
Yes.
If today we said, all right, we're gonna turn it around.
Bottom line.
I think we're in a pretty good shape, right?
Yes.
Today. But until we can get our leaders
Yes.
to even tell the truth themselves,
Oh my gosh.
we're in some trouble if we continue to follow these people.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you see a nation crumbling.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
look at
we're a laughing stock at this point.
yes.
It's sad.
I mean, we've accepted one of the most egregious, dishonest people that we've ever seen.
Yes.
I mean, there's a segment, which I saw from one of our Facebook friends. There's a segment, I believe, on MSNBC tomorrow
Yeah.
called All of the President's Lies.
I'm just saying, remove the title.
Remove the title.
So if someone lies this much, do you want them around you?
Why would you ever put any faith in them to have your
Best interest.
best interest at heart?
Come on, man.
I mean, it's incredible. So again, let's tell the truth. We can heal our children. We can heal our nation.
Let's be kind,
Yeah,
right?
let's value humanity. I mean,
and-
bottom line.
And also invest in yourself.
Oh my
You know,
gosh,
this-
that's the greatest investment you could ever make.
This whole materialism thing, man, let's try to get away from that. As a people,
Yeah,
it's obviously not working. So let's try something different. Instead of,
Yeah.
what we're putting on our kids,
Yeah.
let's see what we can, the knowledge we can put in our kids' minds.
yeah,
The principles that we can give our kids. We, at this point, with so much information and so much exposure, we can start to develop a better culture.
Bottom
at
line,
this point.
I truly believe that.
Yes.
I mean, we can inculcate our children with the best
Yes.
principles. I think, we had a guest last week, Rosie.
Yes.
Hey, Rosie.
Hey, Rosie.
Um,
Oh yeah, we gotta go to dinner as well.
right. Yeah.
forget.
More business, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But as she stated, she's principally based,
Yes.
right? And I believe so are we.
Yes,
Which we got from our parents. It's all
Yes.
about the principle.
that's it.
And I think if we can deal with the principle, then the act can be addressed much easier.
Exactly.
Because again, it's not, I just said this.
Yeah.
Let's deal with the principle
Yes.
of this mistruth.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Let's deal with the principle of this disrespect.
Yes.
And so if you cannot tell somebody that what you did not disrespect them, that's something that gets under my skin.
Yes.
We can go to, all of these sports mascots, the Washington Redskins.
Oh yeah.
It just,
Come on.
if you are not Native American, you cannot say whether
It's offensive
a
or not.
team being named the Redskins is offensive or not. Your opinion does not matter. It's a moot point.
It's your opinion.
It
How you
doesn't matter.
feel.
It does not matter because you would never feel the disrespect or the pain from that slur.
Yes.
You never would.
No.
So what you have to say about it is irrelevant.
And the point is they feel disrespected. Do you want anyone to disrespect you?
I mean,
Call you out of your name.
It's amazing to me, but
Yeah.
that's that sense of entitlement.
Yep.
That's that sense of centeredness.
Yes. Yep.
That everything that I say matters.
Yeah.
Because I was raised to think this way.
Exactly.
In this country.
Yep.
And we have that issue in this country, and
Yes.
it's called white centeredness.
Yes.
And let's just be true about it. And again, these are all academic, educational terms
Yes.
that are rooted in years of research.
Years.
Because if you look at in academia, you can't get a theory substantiated without at least 20 years of consistent,
Yeah.
I would say 20 years at the minimum of consistent research.
Yes.
Of this theory tried over and over and over and over again.
Yep. In different settings.
Yeah,
and-
in different settings and so on and so forth. So when you think about that again, in our country, and it's not just certain populations, we all have an issue of speaking on things that have nothing to do with us.
Yes.
And again, how do we know what offends an LGBTQ member?
Yeah.
My
How?
thing is if you tell me it offends you, cool, I got you.
There you go.
No problem. I can change that in a minute.
My apologies.
Because where we come from, disrespect could be a death sentence.
Exactly.
Bottom line.
Yes.
And so you understand how farther that goes.
Yes.
And so what we understand is that valuing someone's opinion, valuing someone's feelings is very important. And is it that serious? Is it that important that it could go that far? Should it ever go that far? No.
No.
But it can.
Yes.
And that's just my opinion about it. But other people may not feel that way.
Exactly.
So again, let's be careful. Let's be more considerate of one another.
Yeah. Let's just treat each other. It's cliche, but how we would like to be treated.
I love this conversation.
Me too.
It's raw.
It is.
Raw and organic.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, it's not a deviation.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's like let's go with it because it's the truth.
It is the truth.
I will always feel comfortable with speaking the truth.
I sleep like a baby at night
Hey, absolutely.
because I know I'm an honest person.
There you go.
I know I'm an honest person. I know that I can face those moments to where integrity,
Yeah.
has to prevail and say, you know what? Yeah, I did this.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I said this.
Yeah.
And
And
I
then
think
now you get that out your system.
you get it out of your system, now you
Right.
can move forward.
Now you don't feed it, you kill it.
You kill it.
Just kill it.
Right then and there.
You don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yes, sir.
Right? But yeah. So yeah, that great conversation.
Yes. Please chime in.
Please chime in. With that being said, the holiday is coming up.
Yes.
If you do celebrate the holiday, and it's a time for you to get together with your family.
Yes.
Our stance is just know what you're celebrating.
Yeah.
You can obviously add your own meaning to, people call it Turkey Day now, and
Yeah.
those things. And obviously, systematically, it's set up to where, for some reason, everyone has these days off. So now the
Yes.
family gets together, right?
And let's give thanks every day.
There you go.
We don't just have to have a certain
Yeah,
day throughout the year where we give thanks.
yeah,
Let's be grateful for the people around us every day for
Every
the things
day.
that we have every day.
Even
Yeah.
the people, at the grocery store who ring you up or
Come on
who
now.
stock the shelves or,
Hello.
things like that. Because,
How about I was having a conversation with Charles,
yeah,
who was a childhood friend of ours. We grew up, really
Yeah.
close friend of ours. He's like family, truthfully. But he drives trucks,
There you go.
18 wheelers, right?
yeah,
And I'm much more mindful of these slow trucks,
yes,
right?
exactly.
Every day because he drives these trucks as well.
Yeah,
And if these trucks were to stop for a day, this country will be up in arms.
yeah,
They're
exactly.
delivering the things that we buy out of these grocery stores.
And we're always mad
We're always
that they're blocking our roads.
we're always upset, right?
Exactly.
And so let's be more appreciative of these big trucks
Yeah.
who are slowing us down and
There you
impeding the
go.
flow of traffic, right? Let's be more grateful for these truck drivers
There you go.
because they help to make our way of life much easier.
Yeah, logistics.
Yes.
That's, we don't have it. We don't have what we need because I know I'm not gonna go out and pick the fruit that I want. It's
No.
delivered to the grocery store. I go get it.
Hello.
Or farmers market, you name it.
Bottom line.
But yeah. So give thanks, eat good.
Yes. Invest into the internal.
Into the internal, yes. Just
Introspection. Evaluate
rid
who
of
you are.
get rid of placing value on all these external things.
It's okay to have nice things.
It's okay, but how much value do you place on it?
Like they say, never seen a hearse following a U-Haul.
There you go.
Just saying.
But
I mean, a U-Haul following a hearse.
there you go. Yeah, I mean, maybe they don't follow each other.
Maybe they
knows?
don't. I'm sure it's happened before.
I mean, the hearse leads the way though.
Yeah, it does. So the U-Haul
So
has
the
to-
hearse is never following anyone.
truthfully.
Yeah. So you had never seen it follow a U-Haul or
Anybody?
hey, it might follow the police.
You're dealing with smart people, then they want to get so technical. You know what I mean?
The police escort is following.
Yeah, the police escort, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
That's
obviously
nerd talk. Go ahead.
There you go. But yeah, anywho, bro, I love you.
I love you, man. I
love
really
you,
do.
man. Seriously.
And I'm thankful for you.
Hey, likewise.
I I tell you every day, man, I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not me without you.
Absolutely.
That's a
I mean,
fact.
and then the feeling is mutual.
Man, I'm not me without you. Even when it comes to, this nice get up you got on. I wouldn't know how to do it without my brother. I'll be honest about it. We get our sense of fashion from our mother.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Daddy.
Yeah, I know.
But we get our sense of fashion from our mother. But when it comes to dressing, with suits and all this stuff, I certainly get this from my brother. I didn't know how to put it together before him. He taught me how to put it together. And I think the student has surpassed the sensei at this point.
Hey,
I was just playing.
that might be the case because I look at you sometimes like you're doing well there.
I appreciate it. It's just a little this and a little that.
Yeah, I mean,
A little razzle dazzle.
Obviously, we take from one another, things, whatever. That's the advantage.
But truthfully, the things that you've given me are internal.
Yes, exactly.
Bottom line, I know I'm a great person.
Yes.
I know I'm great. Like
Exactly.
nobody can rock my confidence because I know what I have in me, and a lot of that has to do with you.
Yeah, and likewise.
And I appreciate you, man. I
Yeah,
do.
Likewise.
Yeah, man.
I love you, man.
I love you. I do.
Man, hey, that's a candid moment right there.
Yeah, it is, man. That's like when Will had his moment with Uncle Phil
Yeah.
about his father or whatever. But
Oh, that was
that was heavy.
Yeah.
But I really do, man. I love you.
Yeah, I love you.
I mean, I think that especially as men,
Yes.
don't be afraid to express your love for somebody, especially your homeboys,
Yeah.
whoever it may be, your family, whatever
Because
it may
as
be.
soon as they pass, or if something happens,
Now you wish you would have told them.
now you love them dearly.
Give them their flowers now
There you go.
when they can smell them.
There you go.
Man, and my brother knows. He knows. I'll tell him every day. Man, I love you, dude.
Yeah.
He knows it.
Yeah.
Seriously, man.
And
So,
that's the 100% truth.
flat out, man.
That is the
Truthfully.
truth, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, man,
It's a lot of love in there today.
a lot of love in here. And with that being said, we love
Yeah.
you too.
Love you too, truthfully.
I honestly have no hate for anybody.
Yeah,
It just, it's love. It's love for everybody, especially, the people who support
Yes.
You know, and go out of their ways to send us nice comments.
Yeah, man.
You know, and interact on social media. Just thank you. It's priceless.
Yeah,
We
man.
truly are thankful.
And thank him, man. He does the heavy lifting with this. If you enjoy this podcast, if you enjoy listening and watching and viewing, it's not happening without him. I don't do anything but show up and talk. He does all the heavy lifting. So I mean, this dude, he is remarkable, man. So I love and I value him so much more than just this podcast. I mean, certainly, but he's an incredible man. So somebody thank him this week in the comments.
Thanks, man, for real. I appreciate that. You know,
That's true.
I mean, I don't really, you know, I guess say need the recognition, but I do appreciate you.
Oh,
you know,
man.
just acknowledging. You know,
You the man.
it's not a bad thing. You know,
man.
but I appreciate it, man. I love you for real.
I love you.
and I'm thankful for you.
I'm thankful, grateful, man. Everything under the sun, man.
That's awesome, man. I feel good, and
Yeah.
you know, hi to the family and
Yeah, hi to the family.
Mia and Santana and
Yeah, Santana.
you know, everyone who watches faithfully or listens
Yeah.
faithfully, thank you. And I hope you guys learned something from this. Obviously, Professor Anderson was putting on the show today. And I mean, it was beautiful, seriously.
Yeah.
It's powerful and it just always come from a place of understanding. But with that being
Always.
said, we love you.
Love you.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.